buildings overlooking the amphitheater. I can tell you that there is one behind that, and one university staff member said that that's where the shot came from. So those two buildings you see in the front of the shot, a lot of the crowd was there on top of those balconies. The building behind that would have been pretty quiet. That was not a viewing spot, but it does have, if you look at it on a satellite, Laura, it does have line of sight from the rooftop, and we know the shot was fired from a rooftop to exactly where Charlie Kirk was sitting. So that person, Laura, now being questioned as to why they might have shot Charlie Kirk dead at 31 years of age, Laura.
Jonathan, thank you.
Sure.
Faith, family, country. Now, saying you believe in them or posting anonymously online when you're fired up about an issue, that's one thing. But Charlie Kirk took it to the next level. He was an avid Bible-believing Christian who enjoyed chatting up atheists.
Look, if an atheist wants to fight alongside of us to end abortion or to try and end the massacring of our kids, that's called gender-affirming care, or if an atheist wants to march alongside of us to say no men and female sports, they're more than welcome to be able to do that. But Atheists for Liberty is an interesting phrase because I don't believe you can have liberty without God, because liberty is not man's idea, it is God's idea. That's just my own personal belief, and it's all.
Charlie did not just talk, though. He acted because he had the guts, he had the drive, he had the focus to go out there day after day, night after night, and fight for what he believed in. Now, the threats on his personal safety were well known. He knew them. But he wouldn't stop because he believed that being with people in public, especially on college campuses, talking with conservatives, debating liberals, it made conservatism fun and exciting again. And he died today, taken by an assassin's bullet, doing what God put him on this earth to do. I said it with Brett earlier, and he and I were both crying in our offices and embracing. A lot of people around here are. The word came to me, irreplaceable. He was irreplaceable. And I believe he was murdered, and you heard the governor talk about this at the press conference earlier. He was murdered because he was so effective at what he did. He was a modern-day evangelist. And while so many adults, they can roll their eyes at Gen X or Y or Z, Charlie saw the promise in young people today. His enthusiasm for the future, I found it personally infectious. And I believe that no one other than Donald Trump himself in recent memory has had a more profound effect on the political thinking of young Americans than Charlie did. Now, a few months ago, my son, my 15-year-old son, Nico, was watching something on the computer when we were on a flight. He was supposed to be reading, of course. So I was annoyed at him. I looked over, then I saw it was a Charlie Kirk video. So, of course, I took a photo of it, and I sent it to Charlie, and he and I got a big kick out of it. And then when my daughter, Maria, heard Charlie was coming to Texas A&M last spring, she was over the moon. So Charlie brought her and her buddies backstage, and he recorded this video to send it to me.
I found someone here at Texas A&M.
Hi, Mom.
And she's doing very well. She's not making any trouble, and I approve of all of her friends. So things are going great. See you soon.
Those girls who were laughing with Charlie and so many other students across the country, like millions across the globe, are devastated tonight. But Charlie would have loved to know that they're all going to Mass, they're going to church, they're praying in their dorm rooms and their common areas. They're praying for the repose of his soul and for his family now in mourning. The beautiful family. Our hearts break for them tonight above all else. Now, while so many across the political divide, and I can be prone to pessimism too, could be pessimists, Charlie decided, no, I prefer optimism.
Jesus is honestly the most important thing. We are seeing Gen Z go back to church in record numbers. We are seeing a Christian revival that should give everyone in this audience hope. It's the greatest news happening in America right now.
He loved talking about where things were going, and he saw it because he was there. He felt it. He engaged with it. There's simply no one else like him. I can't believe I'm saying it. Was past tense. I mean, how can this be? He was on air with us just 48 hours ago, And he and I were just texting yesterday about his conference in December that I was going to, and chatting about that, laughing about a couple things. We're always joking with each other. But I remember the first time I met him. I think he was 19. He might have been 18, but he was at least 19. And I kept hearing about this teenager who decided to skip college and start an organization for young conservatives. At the time, I kind of like rolled my eyes, like, oh, okay, what is it? But my late friend Foster Fries met Charlie on a stairway at CPAC back in, I think it was 2011 or 12, when Charlie was still a teenager. And he heard that this kid had this dream of wanting to change the way young people thought about politics. And Charlie told Foster about this. Foster himself was such an optimist, but he was so taken by Charlie Kirk and the enthusiasm and the drive that this young kid had, no college. He knew he was something different. He was something special. So Foster and Lynn Fries and a few others wrote the first or second check to Turning Point, and the effort, the organization point, and the effort, the organization, the force that it became was born. So we all watched him grow from a teenager into a man, to a husband and a father, and a political force like we had never seen before. Here with me now is Alex Marlow.